very thankful, okay, for those, okay, for those who actually, right, okay, for most of you guys who really respond on our exercise there, okay, and concern also about your submission at the same time. Okay, I just want to give you guys a bit kind of what we call that information. So we just want to get to what we call that your cooperation at the same time. Okay? When I actually go through with all this kind of what we call that submissions via WhatsApp, okay, and thank you very much for Class Rep who actually have been added and create a group for me there, okay. So I want to shout out also for all of you guys and also the rest of the class rep, because there's a lot of what we call that submissions, and my kind of WhatsApp quite very in a traffic kind of busy there, okay, on those what we call it submissions, consultations, and send it over basically those kind of what we call that all those kind of what we call that drawing kind of samples, okay. So thank you very much, guys, okay, for those kind of very warm and also positive kind of energy there, okay. So please keep on that kind of what we call the energy, okay, to submit your works, okay, to show basically your works, okay, because it will help me a lot, okay. It will help me a lot from here to understand about your overall kind of what we call that understanding, knowledge, level of skills, which will lead into what I'm going to work, okay, for you guys with this semester's there, okay. So that's basically, okay, for class rep, okay, for group 1, I think they have actually create a WhatsApp for me, okay, and some of the groups there, okay, and the rest of it, okay, even though group 7 and 8, okay, even though we have only a small little kind of what we call that members, okay, in our groups, okay, at the moment, please basically create a group first, and then later on, okay, we can actually sort it down back again, okay. So please do so, okay, and add me on those groups, okay, and then we're going to check, okay, whether how actually we're going to organize them back. But I really need you guys, okay, to sort them back, okay, because I can't basically to memorize and to check all those kind of submissions, okay, especially your names by groups, okay. But thank you very much for informing, and so what we call that gives a bit kind of introductions there, okay.
斜都總都唔啊
All right.
咁容易
Yeah, Tayu, what is it, right? Young Tai, you? Okay, now, okay, welcome to our week 2, what we call the lecturing class over here. So today and for this week, basically, I want you guys to focus, okay. This is the time, guys, okay. This is basically the real kind of what we call that exercise and intensive kind of work basically we're going to do for this week 2 until the rest of the semesters there, right, okay. So we are going to take more serious basically on our developments from now on, but at the same time, okay, we are going to try to learn to enjoy basically the process at the same time there, okay. So from this stage basically, okay, I'm always going to see whether you guys can draw, you have the skills, you have the certain kind of level of skill that you have basically that you bring over to the class, okay. Please use it as a part of your advantage to develop more further of your understanding from now on. All right, don't say that, okay, oh, I can draw like this, okay, so I'm going to start to draw like this only there, okay, or this is my start. Remember, guys, okay, we're not taking over the styles yet. I'm not actually want to see any kind of different styles yet, okay, because as you guys can see, okay, I have different kind of style that I can actually provide on my illustrations. But this is basically, we talk about techniques. Okay, we talk about techniques over here. So the techniques has to be right first. Okay, the techniques has to be right first. If you don't develop the techniques, the right techniques, I can actually confirm and promise, okay, most of you guys who really want to learn foundations of your drawing skill we're not going to be succeed for the rest of those drawings, exercise or drawing kind of what we call that lessons. Because I've been through that, the same thing there, okay? I've been through all this kind of hard work, the same thing as what I'm going to share with you guys here. But of course, back in the days, the workout are going to be a little bit more kind of like face-to-face, right, okay? We are going to use a huge number kind of papers, right, okay? More bigger than this size, right, okay? This is, I think, around A2 or A2 size there, right, okay? So the one that I actually use basically is more huge than the AO size, okay, normally, okay? And we only use drawing pen like this, marker pen like this. No pencils, basically, for entirely our formal exercise. But for you guys, I'm going to make some exceptions, all right? That at the moment for this week, please don't use pencils anymore. All right. One of the reasons because we cannot see the line works very well. Because some people are afraid to press quite hard and they don't know how to control basically the pressure strokes there, right? The line strokes there, right? So by sorry guys, by using basically a ball pen, for example, black ball pen or blue ball pen, okay, or drawing pen, for example, okay, or pilot pen, okay, or if your dad, your parent have some of the ball pen or what they call, you can use them, right? Okay, you can use them. Okay, don't buy a new one there, right? Okay, so try to find, okay, in your house if there is a pen, okay, that people doesn't use there, okay, or people rarely to use, right? Okay, or you guys can just borrow them first, okay. But if you want to buy them from the stationery, if they're open there, okay, so you can buy them, right? Okay, but don't use expensive kind of what we call the materials there, okay. But pen is one of the most effective way to develop this exercise. Why? Because we don't erase them. Those are the reasons there. And we want to develop your confidence during the process of learning there, right? Okay. Those are the things that we want to do there, okay. It's not all about styles, it's all about techniques first. All right. If you practice to observe things in the right way, there, okay. For example, when you look at things, right, okay, when we look at things, right, okay, normally, okay, I also have this kind of perceptions before the, okay, we never actually, right, we always take for granted. We always take for granted when we look at things there. Normally, okay, all right. But from now on, okay, to train our eyes to become a designer's kind of eyes. Not only artists, okay, but designer kind of eye. Even though there's some sort of reason somehow, basically, right, okay, as a human being, we always take for granted with some of the things there. It's a normal kind of thing, okay. But in terms of those lessons there, okay, learning experience, okay, especially in introduction to illustration class over here there, right, okay, I want you guys to learn to develop that kind of observation spec, okay. Please appreciate what you see first and then look it as a part of those elements of design. All right, I think you're going to learn about element of design and principles, more details in introductions to art, okay. Who actually teach you guys introduction to art? Your lectures? May I know the names? Dr. M. Dr. M.
It's Dr. M. Yeah.
Dr. M, they're right. All right, okay.
Yeah.
So Dr. M going to teach you those introduction to art, right? So you guys can ask him also if he doesn't actually emphasize more on the element of principles, but I believe that he will there, right? Okay, he's one of my friends from Unique L, if I'm not mistaken, there, right? He's my good friend from there. So please let him know, okay, to emphasize, to explain a bit more further on those element and principle of design, that we're going to use them also in our illustration class, okay? All right, guys, please let him know that, okay, if he actually doesn't actually explain a little bit, because there's a lot of things he want to explain later on, okay, but you guys can actually ask him also to develop that kind of what we call that, explain a bit more further on that, right, okay? Because we're going to go through the same thing further, right? Oh, look, she's an Indian, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay, yes, okay. She will explain a bit more further there, okay? Yes, she also my friend there, okay, my good friend, okay. We actually bump each other, okay, when it comes to lecturing class, okay, and she helped me with a few things about the application at the same times. All right, I thought there's another Dr. M, okay, we have in UniKL doing part time, okay. So I mixed them up, right? Okay. So yes, so hopefully you guys will basically can learn and experience all these kind of informations, okay, in order to develop your kind of knowledge and experience at the same time here. All right, so now let's we go through first about our what we call the slides over here. Okay, this week there are going to be two different exercises, guys. Okay, two different exercises. All right, so prepare yourself, okay, in order to develop this kind of understanding. Okay, so this is basically about observation exercise. What I'm talking about before this, right, is all about drawing representing the center of the observations there. Okay, is a drawing basically is a representative of the observation there. Without observation, without your eyes, our eyes, they basically, I believe you guys cannot draw well, right? So no imaginations yet. Some people thought that, okay, I actually have not argument but discussion with my friend yesterday there, okay, when I actually post my demonstrations, but the samples of demonstrations only, okay, in my Facebooks, okay. Some people agree that, okay, imagination is more better than knowledge, but for this exercise, I don't agree with it, because without knowledge, you won't be able to imagine in the right way, because all imaginations came from experience. Okay, let's just say you want to go to the moon, right? Okay, do you know how the moon look like? Okay, if you don't have that kind of what we call experience to look at those picture of those moon there, right? For example, or you look outside, you saw the moon there, okay, and then you start imagine something when you want to go to the moon there, right? Okay, for example, but without a pictures, right, okay, a glimpse of pictures of reference, you won't be able to imagine, right? Okay? Let's just say, right, okay, if you want to imagine heaven and hell, for example, you want to design and draw them, right? Okay, how are you going to imagine that? How the hell or locations of hell and environment of those hell and also heavens look like? If you don't have that kind of sample of representative of those kind of visual inside our world there, okay, the real world is that, okay, beautiful garden, for example, there's a lot of people actually, right, wearing a very nice dress, for example, happy, okay, doing all this kind of very good stuff in heaven, for example there, okay. And hell, how actually you're going to imagine how to visualize the environment of hell there, okay, for example, okay, you will try to what we call that, to cooperate with something that you guys see, okay, the things, places that not quite very comfortable there, okay, for example, like a volcano, for example, peak, okay, those kind of things there, okay, it will represent basically, oh, this is basically the hell on earth there, for example, and then you start to imagine, you draw and you improvise from there. So for our exercise here, without experience of seeing things, don't try to imagine well, because a lot of people thought when they draw, they start to imagine the object that they want to draw without learning back again to see why basically we have to draw the subjects into that kind of looks there, okay, the curved line, the structures there, okay, why actually going to put like that, okay, why my beard basically, for example, is curly instead of straight there, okay, all that kind of understanding that we build up to collect all these kind of informations there. My ears, it's not like this, but it's pointed like this a bit, right? Okay? Open up like this, right? Okay? All this kind of understanding there, all right? Okay? When you start to accept basically the realities there, okay, then you will basically develop your kind of informations, okay, your kind of experience there, okay, and you start to collect all those informations using your eyes, keep into your brain, and coordinate with your hands. That's basically the exercise that we're going to do. And if you're going to keep this kind of routine, you will give your what we call that, we will have that kind of, you're going to have that kind of a comfortable kind of moment when you start to draw anything in the future. So, okay, you will actually have that kind of very kind of connections there, okay? Because all people who can draw well, you can ask, maybe you can relate with some of you guys who actually can draw a little bit kind of well there, okay? Good in your skills, okay, at this stage there, okay? But you need to develop a bit more understanding on the proportions, balance, okay? And also a bit kind of what we call the right kind of structures there, okay? To make your drawing not perfect, but correctly done there, right? So that kind of things has to be in routine. You cannot accept, okay, you cannot actually write, judge from, okay, when you want to improve yourself, you just did a few kind of exercise for a week there, okay, and then you stop to draw, okay. You need to continue to develop all these exercises, but I put an amount, basically, just an amount for this week, because at least the minimum kind of work that you can done to submit to your what we call that weekly exercise are going to be that kind of amount. For example, okay, we're going to have 10 different kind of drawings based on faces, blind drawing exercise techniques, okay? 10 different faces there. For example, you can draw your mom, your parents, or your own face, or any kind of K-pop, J-pop kind of celebrities if you want to, using your reference there, okay? And also you have to draw your own hands. Okay, when you draw your own hands, don't draw by using other people reference there. You just look at your hands, for example, like this, and you start to draw them, okay? In 10 different kind of positions there, right? Okay, 10 different kind of positions there. Okay, so that's basically those exercises, okay, roughly that I actually have been stated in our brief over here. So if you take a look back again, okay, about this explanation I get it from one of the links there, okay, that I actually share with you guys just now. In this what we call a PDF, okay, we are forced to observe a pure line and shapes. It's all about line and shape, no shading. No shadings yet. Line to develop shapes and form of your drawings. There's 3 different elements of design, okay? And that kind of forms also will consist on textures at the same time. Will consist on those textures at the same time, okay? Some people actually asking about textures, what we call it before this, right? So it's all about line, shapes, textures, and form there, right, okay? And space and value there, right, okay? So I repeat all this kind of element back again, okay? And then you guys can actually write, because in this moment, sometimes people actually cannot relate, okay? And what basically Mr. Faisal talk about all these kind of elements there, right? It takes time a little bit there, guys, okay? When I was like you guys also, even though I've learned a little bit kind of understanding in our secondary school there, right? In high school there, right? Okay? But I never take serious on that because we never know basically why we have to learn all these elements there. But right now, as a design students, you must basically understand one step at a time, learn the process of understanding the, okay, the element and principle of design, because you're going to use them a lot to mix them up in your artworks. When you explain also about your works, other than about the backstories, the concepts, about your ideas, they're going to go back into your aesthetical values of formalistic of education, okay, of explanation, okay. You're going to talk about all these elements and principle of design together. Okay, so whenever we draw from observations, we are improving our observation skills. Yes, we need to improve our observation skill first. When we look at things, we look into details there. I'm going to show you guys today, not only using traditionals, but I'm going to use also computers. How I actually look at things back again using computers there, okay? Because by the end of the day, you're going to use your tablets there, okay? You're going to use your tablets to draw. If you don't practice your hands really well, your tablets are going to be useless. Trust me on that. I have a few number kind of students who actually been not complain, but they don't succeed basically, and then talk to the parents about it, okay? I thought that these students basically have mental or health kind of issues there, okay? But unfortunately, they don't, okay? There's a very, very healthy kind of physical and so mental kind of health, but they're normal, but they don't understand, okay? Why? Because they actually don't open up their mind to change the way they're actually going to be absorb the skills and the techniques at the same time there, okay? That's basically the serious thing. And one more thing, please get involved with questions there, okay? Q&A with me there, okay? During the lessons or after basically my lessons if you don't understand, all right? Because if you keep quiet there, okay, if you don't participate with this, what we call that conversations, there, for example, when I actually ask you guys questions or ask whether you want to ask any questions there, okay, if you don't participate there, okay, you keep quiet, or okay, hey, I also introvert, guys, okay? When I go to any kind of conference sometime, I don't know what to ask to the facilitators there, okay? I'm also have that kind of stage fright there, okay? You look at me right now, I'm talking to you guys, okay, just like a normal, what we call that confidence kind of person there. When I go outside, okay, as a human being, everyone have that kind of stage fright, have what we call that kind of what we call the introvert kind of things there, okay? And every designer artist have that, right, okay? But the thing is how you overcome them back, all right? And of course, okay, sometimes I don't want to ask questions because I understand about the answers. I can find the answers there. But if you cannot actually find the answers by yourself, ask back the questions. Please ask the questions back again, okay? So remember that, guys, okay? So now, if you just click here right now, okay, about the misconceptions about realistic drawings. Some people believe that in order to be artists or designers, for example, okay, you must be able to draw or paint without reference. As a students, as a professional artist there, okay, and both kind of parties there, we need reference, all right? If you saw some of the professionals, some artists on the YouTubes, they draw without any reference because they actually have been developed their kind of understanding, knowledge about the techniques there. There's a million kind of techniques there, okay? There's a bunch of techniques that we can learn, but you have to learn the foundations there first, all right? The fundamental there first there, right, okay? Fundamentals there, okay, right, okay, first. Basics before you're going to go through with the kind of imaginations there. Because when you cannot actually improve your hands to coordinate with your eye to see things in the right way, that's why you cannot draw. Simple as that. That's why train your hand just like playing badminton and basketball there, okay? You need this kind of coordination, right, okay? But the difference is playing sports, you use the whole physicals there, okay? Of course, like swimming there, okay? The same thing. You know, guys, back in the days, okay, even though I actually around 40 plus right now, I just learned to swim and at this age there, okay? When I was like teenagers there, right, okay? When I learned swimming formally, I cannot understand how actually you're going to floating there, right, okay? And I always have this kind of, what we call that dilemma of what we call that kids' imagination there, okay? When I look at the pool, swimming pool, I imagine that, okay, there's a shark, okay, on the waters, what we call inside those deep kind of waters there, right, okay? That's why I can't swim there. That's the truth there, guys. Even though I love water very much, right, okay, but when I go into more deep kind of what we call that surface there, okay, of those pool, I always imagine all those kind of things there. So this quite ridiculous, right, okay? But I learned back again by myself, okay, to understand about the techniques of swimming, okay, floating a bit, okay, even though I'm still learning there, okay, not that good there, okay. I think you guys more better than me because we have the swimming pool there basically back at the universities there, right, okay. Nice big swimming pool. I always hanging around over there, okay, when I was doesn't have any class because there's a gym also over there. So there, guys, okay, learning process has to be developed from time to time. We have to be practice a lot there, right, okay. You don't need to what we call that, go to the expensive kind of domain places to learn drawings there. Okay, if you have your sketchbook along, draw, and if they don't, try to keep your what we call that. Okay, you have to save a bit kind of paper because you don't want to buy or invest yourself to draw there. Okay, a lot. Okay, like I said, if you use a pile of A4 papers, bind it into a books, you can use it as a part of your sketchbooks from now on. You don't have to buy those expensive kind of sketchbooks, right? Okay. So one of the sketchbook that I found from the what we call that stationery kind of shop there, right? They actually have been compiled all these A4 size paper books, okay, around below than 10 ringgit, for example, if I'm not mistaken, there, okay. So either you can actually invest to buy that kind of sketchbook, or you can actually create your own sketchbooks there. Okay, if you have the A4 size papers more than, I think, around 30 page, 40 page, right? Use them basically to improve the practice your drawing skills from here. And then you're going to start to work also in your tablets later on there, right? Because we have to train our hands to move basically in the right way first, exercise our hand before you're going to draw on the tablets here, right? Okay? So if you take a look here right now, okay, this is basically my demo yesterday there, right? Okay, I demonstrate how basically I'm using my hands without looking at the papers there, but I draw my own face by looking at my cameras. Okay, on traditionally basically, okay, we have to look our subject matters in front of us. All right, okay, we have the real model, for example, and I will draw them without looking at the papers there, right? Okay, so for example, if there is a model in front of me right here. So let me check here. Okay, if there is a model in front of me there, right? Okay, when I draw them, I'm not looking at the papers there. Okay, I will look at those subject matters there when I draw. That's basically the discipline that we want to create for this exercise there. Even though you look at your hands later on, okay, your hands there, right? When you draw them, don't look at the papers. Whatever happens on those papers, don't bother them, okay? Focus on your learning experience to look at the subject matters over here, to look at the shapes of your fingers when you draw, all right? Using this continuous line drawings techniques, okay, when you draw them, whatever happens, don't take off your pen before you complete them there, okay? Don't lift off basically your pen, okay, before you complete them. When you complete them, then you can actually lift off the right, okay? You can actually release the right, okay, from those papers. Anyone have experienced this exercise before? I think last week there's a few number kind of students have done it, right? So it's a good kind of what we call that. I saw some students have done before. Okay, but anyone have experienced this kind of exercise before? If yes, just put yes there, okay? Why? If no, says no there, right? Adrina, do you have done this kind of exercise before?
No.
No, right? How actually you learn to draw there, okay? I asked Adrina because she actually, right, love to draw those anime, manga kind of stuff. Okay? I can see that some of you guys also have that kind of understanding, okay, that you've been developed by yourself. Thank you very much for the response, guys, okay? Okay, thank you for the response over here. Oh, Carmen say yes, they're right. Yes, one. When is it? They're right. Yeah, Wei Chin. Where actually you learn, you experience this one, right? Have you taken those kind of drawing classes before? Carmen? Wei Chin? Have you taken those kind of self-explorer, right? Okay, good. Hey, when I was like you guys, I never knew about this exercise there, right? Right, but thank you, right? Common right, personal exercise. But basically, that's the main reason why we want to learn, okay? But because when I actually knowing this kind of techniques, I never stop practice myself, even though I want to develop my own styles of drawings there, okay? Since then, because it'll help a lot for me to imagine well, to develop basically my own understandings. But of course, it's not going to take 1 semester to complete, to develop the skills, right? When I was like your age, your times to study Turkey, I can actually write. I'll tell the truth, okay, because we develop these skills, not only blind drawing, not contour line drawing, but the whole drawing skills, okay. For formally, basically, for almost 3 semesters. All right, we have drawing project 1, drawing subject 2 for the 2nd semesters when I was like you guys, okay, when I studied, okay, for the 3 foundations. And then the 3rd semesters when I get into my graphic department there, okay, we have the intensive figure drawing classes there. That's when basically I learned from my great kind of what we call that teachers there, right, okay, not great teachers Onizuka there, right, okay, but Mr. Ahmad Azhar there, right, okay, he's one of my lecturers, former lecturers, okay, and now actually, right, I think he actually still teach at the multimedia universities there, right, okay. Before that, when he was young basically, and I actually more younger there, right, okay, they actually have teach us there, okay, the intensive kind of way of working with those kind of structures and figure drawings there. So we basically, right, as a student at the times, have to complete every single week 1 sketchbooks there, okay, complete. If you don't complete, we won't be able to get into the classroom there, okay. That's basically the thing there, right, okay, that we have done there, okay. But you guys basically have that kind of privilege, develop them in your own way, okay. So right now, you guys ready here? I want to show you guys how it works, okay. Maybe I have to stand a little bit right here. But of course, right, okay, my camera is not higher than my stage, so maybe I'm going to sit a little bit there, okay. So now, take a look, guys, how it works over here. Right, let's just say that I'm going to draw back again my face. All right, the challenge is right now, I cannot look at the papers, but I can look on the screen. And that's basically one of the improvisation that I actually can actually write, show you guys how it works, okay? So you never draw like this one, okay? But later on, if you want to draw from pictures, from reference, from Google's there, from your laptop on your screen, but don't draw from phones there, okay? Because phone is too small there, okay? Unless you have the big screen there, for example, like your iPad or your notepad, okay? But if you have your laptop, you can draw from your laptop, okay, your reference. But the best way for this exercise, okay, draw from real life, okay, from life, okay. But there is a few kind of exercise that we actually can actually add in, okay, in order to develop basically more understanding by drawing object there, right? For example, like a simple object, but there is a very dynamic kind of curve shapes, right? Like drinking bottle, for example, there, right? Like this cup of what we call that of theta ray, for example, there, right? Okay, you can draw because there's a curved kind of line that we actually can study there. Or this kind of objects over here. All right, you guys can use them, okay, to draw, find an object that have basically a very dynamic kind of shapes there, not flat kind of shapes, in order to develop this kind of understanding there, okay. Or even you can draw natures if you want to there, okay. So because it's not all about perfections, it's not all about perfections there, guys. It's all about understanding what you see, observations, kind of what we call that experience there. How you add all those kind of details by drawing all this kind of line and shapes, but the drawing are not going to be perfect, super realistic, okay? But the value that you get from that kind of drawings is all about here. You keep over here, there, okay, and here, your hands when you draw. All right, now I'm going to start to draw here, but please take time when you draw. Don't draw too fast. You draw too fast, you're going to miss out all those kind of details. All right. For example, okay, there's a one video basic I haven't uploaded, okay, but I'm going to show you guys here right now. Okay, when I actually draw, okay, every single structure, okay, a lot of people have this kind of problem. Okay, how you draw? All these questions, all the inquiries while you draw, you solve them by moving your hands continuously there, okay, without worrying about the shadows, details, how many, what we call that. You don't have to count every single hairline, if you, right, okay? And you just tackle the line and shapes there. If the beard, basically, for example, I have it, I don't know whether you guys have beard or not, right, okay? But if there is a beard on your subject matters, they concise you to work with those kind of continuous line there, right, okay? On this curved line, basically, okay? Just draw the curved line of it. Slowly draw them, right, okay? Even though the eyes, the frame of my glasses, okay, draw slowly when you draw, okay. It takes time, okay. They're going to be around 1 minute or 2 minutes kind of drawings there, okay. Those time, okay. But you guys can check back again those timings. I don't have those timings over here. How long is it I take to develop and study my face using this blind drawing exercise over here? So I'm going to put my hands over here, right here. Okay. From this exercise here, okay, you guys basically can start whenever they want. But I want to start with top first because easy for me to control back again my kind of, sorry there, okay, okay, can actually manage those kind of what we call that, the areas that I want to draw, okay, but it's quite, they're going to be quite hard basically right here, all right, but this is basically the challenge here because we don't want to focus on the perfections, but we want to focus on the understanding on the way, working on those kind of, what we call that line and shapes on the subject matters there. I'm going to start to draw here, okay? I'm going to focus on my hair when I draw them, okay? I start to draw right here slowly, okay, from the left side of my face, all right? And a little bit kind of what we call that, oh, my markers become right here. So slowly I draw basically this part. You see here? Now I start to draw those ears. Right. Slowly draw the shapes of it. Hopefully I didn't have the neck kind of pain after this. So I'm going to start, even though I'm going to start back again to the top. All right, I'm going to draw slowly over here. All right. It's not all about drawing the shapes only there, guys. Outline only there, okay? But the whole things that we can draw. It's quite painful there, guys. But that's the challenging there, okay? That I actually sacrifice for you here. So hopefully you guys appreciate basically my kind of efforts right now. So now I'm going to draw the details of those eyes. My mind and my eyes try to give a command to those, my hands to move according to what I see. Okay, this is more painful than I'm doing workout there, guys, okay? More painful when I'm doing workout, okay? When I work out, okay, it's not the kind of painful over here. It's quite fun there, right, guys, right? Try to apply the new things there. So now I start to draw basically the nose. I'm looking at my nose, my own nose there, okay, not my drawings here. I'm going to move those hands to work on that. Whatever that actually happens, guys, I'm going to draw my lips. Okay, I think I have completed the lips there, okay. My goatee a little bit. And then I start to draw basically those beard there, okay. Because my beard quite curly, so I'm going to use the curly kind of strokes there, okay. I'm going to, what we call that, mix around my kind of movements, okay, to work with that, that kind of movements of my drawings here. Oh, my hand's quite painful over there, guys, huh? Now my neck. All right. Draw things that you see. Don't draw something that you won't see there, right? Okay. Yeah. A bit kind of confusion for me also. There's some challenge there, okay, from here. And then I'm going to start to draw basically my arms there. All right. There's the hands there, right? Because I cannot see my arms there, so I cannot move there, okay, towards to that. But I try to work here. Okay, this is my marker drawing pad. And this is my hands. The hands also doesn't look like a hand, okay, because, yeah, it's quite hard, okay, to draw from here. You can try them. So I think I have the completed drawings. All right. We call it line drawing there, okay. Techniques. Today is 28th of June 2021. Okay, week 2 exercise there. There. Can you guys see the drawings there? All right. It's quite painful there, okay? Painful, okay, on my hands over here, on my arms over here, right? It's more painful than I actually do those kind of workout. All right. So guys, take a look here there, okay? The drawing itself. And later on I'm going to shoot those photos and I'm going to upload back again. So the drawing entirely there, okay? If you take a look here, it's not all about how details that we can go through with it, but how actually we can develop the understanding by, oh, my neck also quite painful there, okay? So hopefully you guys appreciate my sacrifice over here. So the thing is right now, even though I didn't look at my drawings over here, but I'm still can capture, okay, my own structures of my faces there. And of course, my faces is a bit more complicated there, okay, if you take a look back again, how to draw them, because there's a lot of different kind of elements there that we have to focus, okay, to develop and construct my faces. All right. So when you come to this exercise, okay, for this week, each one of you guys, when you draw, if you can record basically those videos just like that we did before last week, send it over to your submissions, and as well you can actually send over to the groups of our WhatsApp there, okay? So I can take a look how actually you work with that kind of drawings using this kind of techniques here. Yesterday, basically you have seen, okay, how actually develop this kind of understanding from here. Okay, when I actually draw basically this, the same kind of drawings, okay, but different positions there basically, but I'm using the same methods there, right, okay, to works. But at this stage, if you take a look here there, right, okay, check basically my screen back again. Okay, sorry there, guys. You guys can see my screen there, right? If you take a look there,
Yes.
okay, on the YouTube there, okay, I try to add a bit kind of details on my, okay, the flows of my hair, kind of formations and strokes there, right, okay? And of course, okay, the nose, the eyes, okay? All these kind of tiny details that we can see from our observations, we try to develop them back, we draw them back using our hands, okay? Using our hands, like coordinate with our hands there, okay? That's basically our fundamental studies for this week, okay? So for those who actually have zero knowledge, if you be patient, on your developments right here, you will gain those benefits there. Trust me, but you have to focus on that, okay? But the exercise, don't actually just stop until 20 drawings, for example, if you're done for this week, right? But try to, what we call that, do it more intensive exercise on your own terms, in your own terms, right, okay? So if you can use it by your own terms, that means you enjoy the process of learning, because we don't actually, I don't want to evaluate a perfect drawings there. I don't want to put some shadings there, because people who draw them by applying the perfection on these blind drawings, that means you're not doing it in the right way. I don't want to see those kind of perfections there. That's why you don't have to read about perfections there. But the only thing that you want to add the values when you actually can develop that kind of understanding there by look at your subject matters in the right way while you draw. Okay, while you draw there, right? That's basically the values that we want to add with this exercise here, guys. Okay, if I'm going to draw using Photoshops, all right, using Photoshop there, okay, this is something that I want you guys to see based on Photoshop. Let's just say that, right? And of course there, right, okay, you cannot see my hands when I draw, right? But I'm going to show you guys some sample of, okay, let's just say draw hands, right, okay? Hands. Human hands there, right, okay? So take a look here, okay, I'm going to get, okay, let's just say this is quite complicated. A lot of people doesn't want to draw this one, but I'm going to take it as a part of my challenge also there, okay? But I want to show you guys the connections that I built from there, okay? Even though we have this kind of what we call that pictures here, so they all copy and paste right here. Now, brush. I want to show you guys, okay? If I'm going to draw the same methods by using this kind of techniques, okay? Everyone can see, okay, in Photoshop, there, right? I'm going to save the files there first. Week 2 lecturing class demo for G1 to G8, there, right? Okay, take a look here how actually I fold my hands there, right? Control, basically my hands. And I didn't trace there, guys, right? But take a look how actually I solve some of the problems of it. I'm not actually draw the outline only there, guys. But what I try to draw right here, I draw the whole compositions there, okay? The whole structures there, okay, of those fingers here. And of course, okay, if you take a look there, right, okay, when I draw them, I didn't worry about my mistakes, okay, whether the drawings look nice or not there, okay. But what I try to focus is the consistency of controlling basically my kind of hands when I draw. At the same times, I try to focus on the details. And I repeat those kind of lines sometimes if I'm not sure basically I'm doing the right way or not the right. See, just like I'm drawing a map on top of my drawings. See? Even though look fast when I draw, okay, please take time when you draw them. This is also the second exercise that we need to do for this week. We have 2 different exercises that works. All right. Why actually working with this kind of exercise is really important for your knowledge, experience, to develop the right way to look at things first before you're going to draw all the basic structures there. And controlling the structures at this, controlling the line works at the same time. There has a, call it the quality of line that we have here. Right? The value of tone of line, okay? Thickness, thinness, flowing there, right? Okay? All those kind of what we call that principles that we develop from here. Because from here, we try to combine all those elements. I give you guys back again, okay? I will repeat this kind of elements of designer, okay? Which is, okay, some people start with pointer, okay? Don't get confused, okay? Because I'll repeat this summary, okay? From one point to another point, they become line, all right? And when they combine this pointer, okay, they become shapes. This is basically what you're going to manipulate, okay, improvise, and develops your kind of understanding there. And there's the textures that apply from there, which is the line works, the basic structures, the shadow line that we try to emphasize to create those forms. To create those forms of your drawings. And of course, we add those value. And of course, number 7 is the face. All right? But don't use Photoshop yet. Use traditional methods there first. But if you have the applications and if you actually have bought basically the tablets, you can try on your own first, but don't submit in this exercise there. I don't want to get confused there, right? Okay, so just keep it first to yourself, save your files, and maybe in the future, okay, if you want to add on some of the exercise that you did, you can actually submit back again, okay? Because remember, guys, whatever that you guys been working on, either for your exercise on your project at the same time, okay, I'm going to evaluate them. Don't worry, guys, okay? Every single thing that you've been done for your lessons, it will be developed. It will be evaluated there, right? So a lot of people say, I don't want to draw this one because it's not going to evaluate. No, guys. Whatever that you've been submit that related to your exercise, your process of developing your skills, I'm going to take it as a part of your moving kind of evaluation marks there, right? Because I'm going to value all your efforts from there. Remember that, guys, okay? Because when you learn about design, it's not about like maths there, okay? Maths, when you learn about formula on maths, right, okay? 1 + 1, when you submit your works 1 + 2, they become 3 there, right, okay? You get 3 marks from there. But in design, they're quite a little bit kind of subjective. It's all based on the value and efforts that you actually put on your works. Not only the quantity there, okay? How much that you draw, but the quality of the value that you add on your works, they will be evaluated there. Not the quantity there, only there, right, okay? Some people, they draw, for example, 30 drawings, right, okay? But none of those drawings show the quality of line. One thing that remember there, okay? Because I already show you some of you guys previously, okay? Some of the works that make student actually still fail with the lessons. Because they draw, but they don't actually show the quality of their works. The line works doesn't have quality, doesn't have any balance, doesn't have any what we call that the thickness and the thinness on those lines. They don't have any depth or feel from there, right? Okay. The principle doesn't come also with your submissions there. And the worst thing is, right, they trace. They learn only to trace. All right, this is the things that people always make mistakes there, okay, when they draw there, right? Okay, when they draw something using those tablets, for example, that make them fail there, okay, they trace like this. Okay, they trace there, right? I didn't teach you guys to trace. When you draw like this, of course, you lead yourself to fail. I didn't draw like this, guys, and I didn't teach you guys to draw like this. Remember that, right? So don't do the same mistake, all of you guys. If you draw like this, when you use those tablets later on, I will show you not going to be passed there, okay? Because you don't bring any value of your drawings there, right? Is there any value right here? No. Can you see the difference there, right? The drawings over here. So please be concerned about your techniques over here. Between this one and this one, you can see how actually the quality, even though this drawing is not perfect, guys, not perfectly been done, but they are going to be the right way to evaluate the element and the principle of design. They show basically all these two important kind of values there, okay, that we want to add in our design. We talk about designs over here. All right, we're talking about how to emphasize, embrace there, right? Okay, the element of design. People make mistakes by doing this kind of drawings a lot when they start to draw in any kind of device that they use. And that's what make people cannot actually succeed with these subjects and lesson, because they don't listen there, right? Okay, and follow exactly what I've told. Even though I have given a lot of demonstrations over here. You guys can check back again, and please subscribe these channels. Click to the bell button there, right? Okay. Not because I want to monetize them, but at least to keep you guys alert about what basically I've been updated there, okay, for my students, for the nations there. All right. Either from your future subjects, I actually added right here. Okay, for example, right here, there, okay. If I'm not mistaken, this kind of drawings here. Next semester, you want to draw like this one. All right, you want to draw like this one. Super realistic kind of drawings. I can teach you guys to work on that. But the problem is, if you don't actually develop your kind of understanding from now on, okay, to develop your kind of way of the right kind of techniques. Even though this one, basically we draw on top of the layer to get the outline right, the strokes line right, the drawing line right. And then when I actually color them back, I didn't actually trace them, but I adapted the methods and techniques using the right kind of brushes that works. This is basically for digital illustration classes subjects next semesters. All right, but trust me one thing there, okay? If you don't follow exactly the fundamental kind of drawing exercise, you won't be able basically to get it right. You won't be able to see the value there, okay, of your lessons because you didn't train yourself well. We are not doing a rocket science kind of formula, guys. We don't actually try to become Elon Musk, right? It's very complicated there, right? And need a lot of funding there from there. We just learn about the right techniques to design and draw to develop your design senses. Okay? To develop your design senses here. That's basically what we want to do right here. All right? Right here, there, guys. So it's not much, but it's quite challenging there, right? Okay. But if you you enjoy the process of learning, you will gain a lot of benefit from there. All right, any questions? If you no questions, say no, and okay. If you yes, okay, just let me know there, okay? Bo, Junmin there, right? Okay, you know that, right? Okay, good. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so hopefully my explanations basically give you a bit kind of in-depth of kind of understanding from here. Okay, I want to go through a bit, right? Okay, because this note basically I already put it in our Google Classroom. Okay, okay. Even though this kind of notes I taken basically from the from someone actually, right? Okay, but this lady basically had the same kind of path of what I have been talking about right now, just to give you guys more understanding from here. So it's okay to refer from someone else, because at least you know what I'm talking about is not based on my own perceptions there. Not from my personal perceptions, okay? It's all on what people have studied before, okay? A lot of people actually have the recognitions, have studied before, they put it in those books, art books basically, okay, that sell entirely around the world there. And this technique basically is being practiced from all art students and art school around the world, guys. But nowadays, when they come with all these kind of technologies, for example, like people start to use all this kind of YouTube to learn the right, okay, and they kind of doesn't actually know which one basically is the right kind of materials that they can be used to learn the basics thing back again, right? Okay, that's basically the common kind of problem that we have nowadays on the new generations there. But of course, I'm here to give you guys a bit kind of in-depth back again. Hopefully can help you guys to work on that. So contour line drawings, okay, if you guys can see back again those videos that I shared last week there, okay, about how actually she's done the same thing there, okay, that I've done here today. Hopefully can give you guys more insight from there, okay. Look carefully at the contour of your subjects, when you draw. Okay, those are the things, and not look at your papers, right? Okay, don't worry what happens to the paper, okay? No one going to be scold you, no one going to be pointed a gun on you there, right? Okay, so focus on your contour line that you can see from your subject that when you draw. Those are the most, and look your line. Basically, you can repeat those lines, okay, but control it on the pressures at the same time when you draw. All right. And of course, for the contour line drawings, they say that you start with soft pencil mark. No need there, guys, okay? Use pen, okay? You guys see basically my demonstrations. Don't use pencil, because one of the reasons, I don't want you guys to erase your drawing there. Okay? How good or bad, ugly your drawings, don't rip them off. Don't rip them off there. I repeat back again, don't rip your drawings there. Leave it there. And see the difference from one drawings to another drawings when you draw them. All right. So those are the things. Try to use the shapes that see in the objects, but try to combine them. Develop the whole thing in details there. Don't just draw one single line and shapes from the outline only there. Okay. Complete entire compositions. Okay. And detail every single areas without lift off your pen first. But of course, if you feel a bit kind of tired, just relax a bit and then continue back again. Okay? And continue, and there's a type of drawings that we need to develop from now on. Okay, before you're going to learn about the basic structures, the constructions line, right? Okay, the measurement, right? Okay. Learn about the movement of type of techniques that first, like continuous line drawing, line contour drawing exercise, gesture line drawings that is for sketch line drawings later on, right? And try to develop those negative space and value with your line drawings. Okay, we capture all these kind of gestures only, line drawings there, right? Okay, to work on that. And of course, for the gesture line drawing exercise, which is hopefully we can actually create them and work on them next week, is basically a speed drawings there, but not too speedy, right? Okay, but we're going to emphasize on the gesture kind of pose only to work on that. So I'm going to give you guys one example over here. Okay, let's just say I have this kind of what we call that, this models there, okay? Or maybe I can actually draw something from a reference there, right? A reference there. Okay, gesture line normally is not only to draw hands, not draw faces. We can draw a lot of things from here. But let's just say that I want to draw, for example, like animals like horses there, right? Yeah, I'm taking one of the reference over here. Okay. Which one? This one is nice directly. Okay, I can take this one first. I want to show you guys, if I want to capture gestures, you can using this gestures line not only to draw one subject matters, any subject matters that you want to draw there, right? Okay. Let's just say I have these pictures of these beautiful horses there. Why actually use horses? On Chinese, what we call that perspective. Horses basically are going to bring what? What is it? When you draw horses there, right? When you have the horses pictures, right, okay, at your homes. That kind of thing there, right? Okay. Now, guys. Gestures line drawings here. Okay, let's just say you want to capture gesture line using the same techniques there, right? Okay, but a little bit kind of speed, right? Okay, but we captured all these basic structures, right? Okay, form and the postures at the same time, right? Okay, posture, right? Okay, the poster, right? Okay, the actions there, right? Okay. So if I want to draw the gestures line over here, you guys can see my screen or not? Right?
Yes, yes.
My screen over here, right? So hopefully, right, okay, I'll close this one there first. Okay. Okay, if I want to draw the sources there, right? So what I can do, I start with this. Okay. This is what we call the gestures line there, right? To study basically the whole structure first, but not to emphasize a lot on those. But this one also has to be working with what we call that. So I have to scale a bit my drawings there. Okay, this is a good thing about digitals there, right? Okay, so you can actually emphasize about when you draw using those what we call that. Okay, can you see like how I actually construct those lines? Sometimes a little bit kind of what we call that, spontaneous kind of what we call that. Structures there, okay? But when I draw basically, right, I didn't actually use my imaginations here, guys. What I did basically, I'm using basically my eyes to construct those kind of structures line, the gestures line there, okay? Using basically those observations. See? Yeah, we're not talking about all these kind of details yet. This is what we call the gesture line drawing. Can you see the quality of these drawings? It's not about details, but you can see you try to sketch or draw horses there. How long basically it takes there, right? Can I draw this one? when I actually have trained my eyes really well, when you have trained your eyes really well, okay, to gesture this kind of drawing line, this kind of subjects there, how long does it take? Anyone check those kind of what we call that timing just now? I think around a few seconds there, maybe 1 minute or a few seconds only there, guys, all right? That's basically the value that you bring over to your lessons, understanding there, guys, from now on that you want to be there, right? It's not about the styles that we're going to create there, right? I don't care how good you are, draw any kind of styles at the moment. What I want you guys to emphasize is how actually you develop the right techniques there, right, to work. Techniques that can develop those kind of understanding about the proportions roughly. Can you see the drawings not that quite distorted there, right? Even though I tried to capture a very fast, quick kind of way to draw the horses there using the right kind of line. And remember, don't you ever say, okay, this is Mr. Faisal drawing styles. No. This is basically the international kind of techniques people around the world used to draw there, right? Learn to develop the kind of techniques there first. All right? It's not all about my techniques there. It's not mine. I'm not actually doing this kind of drawing because of mine, okay? But I've learned also from people formally there, okay? From my lecturers, from my teachers, people around the world that become my teachers there, okay? Formally, and I develop them back. And all this kind of technique that I actually talk to you guys today, that bring me what I am right now, that made me what I am right now, okay, from today until these days, right? So remember that, right? Okay? And also, I've been paid to sitting around like this because of those kind of what we call that skills there that have been developed there, right? Okay? My knowledge, experience, and understanding there, right? Okay? Those are the professional kind of works that I've done before there, right? So remember that, guys. I'm not here because just because of coincidence there, right? Okay? Just because of okay. Like Mr. Bean there, okay, just came from the outer space suddenly, okay, and stay in our planet, okay. For example, that no. Okay, because I'm here because of that kind of quality of understanding that I can bring to you guys here. But no shadings, all pure line drawings there. But no outline drawings, but understand the structures line drawing using the continuous line drawings kind of techniques. Okay? Any questions?
No.
All right, those kind of gestures line drawing that you guys can work on that. Yes, do you leave sketches? Oh, sorry, there. Right. Do you leave sketches unfinished if you know the proportion are already wrong? Yes. Sometimes I just keep on drawing until I complete those drawings that come on. Don't leave those drawings like they say, quite ugly there, okay? I don't want to continue, okay? Just continue them first. Leave all the mistakes in those drawings and complete them first, and then you draw another one there, okay? Don't waste basically your papers there, okay? And then you can learn also from there, because from each drawing that you develops, the things that you have to understand is how to value and learn from that kind of mistakes back again. Okay, what are the things that I'm doing wrong there? Okay, but you saw basically my drawing there. Okay, it's not that perfect drawing that I actually try to emphasize there, but the quality and the value that I've learned from there. And of course, some people quite hard to change and open up their mind at the first time. Open up, okay, try to relax a little bit, guys. And if your parents or your sibling or people close to around you, okay, say why they have to draw all this kind of bad drawing, for example, ugly drawing, okay? Because you're not learn to draw a perfect drawing first. in order to develop your understanding, even though you can draw well, you want to develop and learn how to correct your drawing back again in the future there. You want to learn to understand about your mistakes that, okay, that can be developed from there, can be improved from there. And we learn about observations drawing exercise. We not learn about realistic drawing exercise yet, okay? Because you can show basically these notes and people will try to guess back again. Oh, this is basically the exercise that we did right now. Yes, because we have to put ego aside, our ego aside there, okay? So that's basically the most important, okay? Because a lot of people, everyone have their own egos. I have, you have, everyone have, even though little kids have that, right? So we open up back again, release back again. Don't basically feel a lot of tension and problem from there. I have one of my students before that, okay, when I was like 2011 there, right? He quite sweating there, right? Okay, he's quite nervous when he experienced this kind of exercise there, right? But he end up can develop his work really well there, okay, in multimedia there, okay. So when they come to graduate, he know basically what he want. Okay, he focused on the video productions of works there, right? So, but when I remember when the first time there, okay, he's sweating and nervous there, right? I can say, hey, relax there, right? Okay, I didn't focus for a perfect drawings there. I didn't draw any perfect drawings there, guys. Focus on your eyes there to see things in the right way first. Observations there first. That's basically what we want to have in this objective there first, right? You will have more times to develop your styles when it comes to projects. Okay, we have 3 different projects there, right? That projects, okay, try to push yourself whether you can do better with your styles or not. When you have learned all these kind of techniques there. But I have to warn you guys, 20 drawings for a week, for examples, doesn't make any changes if you don't practice a lot. Okay? I practice more than 1,000 times there, okay, on my drawings there. So what makes for you to become professionals, for example, okay, if you thought that, okay, for some people say, oh, why we have to, okay? Okay, when people ask a lot of questions about why and why, ask them to draw back again. Simple as that. Okay, can you draw like me, or you draw the same technique, okay, or you have your own way to draw? If you did, okay, I can draw like this one, okay, how long it takes for you to draw like that? Ask back again. But when people say, okay, I actually a successful kind of guy there, okay, how you become successful there, okay? Is it take 1 or 2 days or 2 months there to become successful? Now there's a lot of things happens in the internet there, okay? How to draw fastest way there, how to become rich fastest way there, okay? All that kind of thing is BS there, guys. There's no success without any investments. All those kind of schemes that we see there, okay? Oh, make money, okay? Within this kind of short period of time there, okay? Ask your parents there, okay? Back again. There is easy for you to make money there, okay? To build up those business. No, they're right. There's no such thing that you can make those business in a short time there, okay? To build up those kind of reputations there. You can saw on the news there, okay? There's a lot of people, okay? Old folks, new folks there, professionals have been scammed there, okay? Because of these quick, rich scam kind of things there. People want to make money fastest, but they end up being scammed there, right? Okay. So there's no such thing to be success. You have a short way there, okay? All this kind of, I actually have go a lot there, okay? I've been enter and not investing my money, but invest my times to go into all these kind of courses there, short courses nowadays there, okay? And by the end of the sessions, it's all based on how you invest your money back again, right? Your money back again, right? Okay? You put down around 1,000, for example, okay, for that kind of classroom. In the future, they will give you more kind of insight of your works, okay? So that's basically the logic. Basically, we can see from that, okay? So if people ask, okay, Learn to draw. Maybe I'm going to put those marketing inside on my demos later on. Yes, learn to draw easy way there, okay? It's not going to be easy the rest to work. All right. So there has to be the right way, and also you have to work hard at the same time, work smart at the same time. Right? Work smart is don't push yourself further to become a perfectionist, right? Okay? A lot of people try to learn to become a perfectionist, right? Okay? They won't be able to see them in a very short times. Okay, so remember that. I'm not looking for perfections. I'm looking for the right way to develop your skill first. Okay, guys. So if you don't have any questions, please check back again the updates, okay, on the things. Okay, this is going to be scary. Try to something new, okay? Don't worry, there's no rule there, okay? Take those challenges, enjoy yourself. You know that what you can do, right? So trust one thing, okay? When you learn these new things, when you combine back again, don't leave away your techniques, okay? Because I also had that kind of little kind of skills that I bring over to my class formally when I was like your age. But when I actually mixed up, combine, not try to what we call it, overrule that. I combine back all this knowledge. I gain a lot of benefit from that. And a lot of things that I've learned, okay? The submissions, all right. Okay, take a look, right, okay? I already put those submissions there, right, okay? Normal, right, okay? 4th of July, Sunday, 12 noon. Okay, each of our exercise are going to be submitted on Sunday there, okay? On Sunday there, okay? Don't worry there, okay? Except the project like we have 1 or 2 weeks there, okay? To extend, right, okay? Because all these exercise, guys, doesn't need to focus on the perfection there, but focus on your experience, understanding from there. All right. So good luck, basically, on your exercise here using ball pen, and submit using the same methods: PDF from PowerPoint or Google Slide PDF. Or if you don't have those PDF, just shoot those photos clearly and send it over to those folders there, okay? But I believe using the Google Classrooms, the limitation on those submissions are going to be around 20 drawings only. But if you use Google Slides, so you can arrange a bit more better, all right? So remember, right, 10 face drawings, any faces that you can draw, but make sure if you actually draw from photos, all right, make sure that you get the quality of those photos there, right? Okay. For example, like this one, okay. These photos basically is quite clear there, okay. So find the right photos for when you draw. Don't just draw something that quite blur. You cannot actually see the details, okay. And it's quite challenging for you to focus, right, on those kind of process of drawings there, okay. And your hands drawings, either you can actually find someone's hands, but you can actually draw on from real life, okay? You can draw from real life, okay? Draw your hands in 10 different positions there, right? Everything has to be done manually. Don't use tablets there to draw, okay? Yes. Same faces there, no. Different faces. I already told you guys, okay? Different faces there. Because it's not going to be bored. But if you don't get bored to draw your own faces, the same faces, the same positions, why not there, right? Okay? Then what you want to draw there, right, Amber? A4 you can, A3 you can, okay? Up to you guys, okay? But if you use small spaces, right, you have to control a bit lah, right, okay? Time to get more A4 papers, yes. Yeah. If you don't want to draw faces, what you want to draw there, Amber, right? Yes. Animals. Why don't you draw faces there first? You're going to draw animals later because we have the animal studies there. Okay, in our In our weekly exercise, we have the animal study. Don't worry, okay? Don't focus on that. But if you want to draw them, just for your to keep for your what we call that, for your studies, go ahead. But not for our submissions yet, because I want to get people to get confused there. Okay, so you can draw animal, but don't submit that yet. You will submit them later when they come to our, I think week 7 or week 6, we have the animal studies there, right? Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, but we can actually go through a bit. Okay, maybe next week we can do animal a bit there. Okay, but not focusing on animals there. You're going to focus a bit kind of structures, animals. I think around week 7 or 8 there, right? Okay, before we're going to work with our second projects there, right? Okay, first projects we're going to draw human characters. Second projects we're going to work with animals, and the third project we're going to combine the whole 2 elements together, become one the different kind of what we call that anthropomorphism kind of animal characters there, right? Can I draw same person but different pose? Yes, can. Different kind of positions there, can. Yeah, can. Right. Right. If you think that okay, King Jong-un is one of your favorite kind of person, for example, right? Okay, you want to draw him, okay, go ahead, right? Okay. Draw in either contour line, yes, contour and gestures line drawings there, continuous line drawing. Do we have the exercise examples? I will give you guys. All right, I will give you guys, and I will give back again more on the demonstrations. But this is one of the examples there, right? And this is also one of the examples that I actually give you guys just now. See? And also this is the one there, right? Okay, some exercise examples there, right? See? So is that the questions? Right, those are basically examples that I give, right? And most of the demonstrations, that basically my example, then you start for you guys to work there. Yes, please insert reference there. Let's just say you draw your hands, shoot your hand first on your cameras, and then you submit the back again. Okay? Yes, draw in your sketchbooks, in A4 papers there first. Okay? Don't draw on the computers there. How to start when don't have any basic drawing knowledge? That's a good question there, Jia Yin. This is basically the basics. Okay, Jia Yin? How to start when don't have any basic drawing? Follow exactly what I actually have shown and what actually have been explained at Jia Yin. Understand that, right? Go through back again my demos videos, okay? And then follow exactly how I do it there, right? That's basically one of the most important things, because a lot of people doesn't want to change the way they draw. They start to draw all this kind of dirty etching kind of line there first. That's basically the common mistakes. Okay? I want to show you guys one of the mistakes that when people draw there, right? Okay, a lot of people, when they start to draw there, okay, remember, okay, I'm recording the sessions, check back again. They start to draw like this. Can you see here? Okay, they start to draw like this one there, guys. When you draw like this is not the right way that I taught you guys to draw, okay? I already showed you guys just now how I actually draw that, right? Don't start with this kind of line here. What is this there, guys? Is there any fur or hairy kind of hands from your reference? No there, right? You not actually draw hands of Bigfoot there, right? So don't draw like this one there, guys. This is basically the wrong way to draw. Okay? Okay, Yashin, can you see that? The way that I move the strokes there, right? Right way to draw. If you seem to draw like that, change. Use contour line, continuous line drawings to develop your skill from here. That's basically fundamental there, okay? If you say the right kind of fundamentals of drawing is by drawing this kind of basic structure, for example, like this one, right? If you thought this is the right way, no. This is basically a techniques that can help you to develop your understanding by develop the right kind of structures there, but not the right kind of techniques first. They doesn't show the techniques to draw, to move your hands, to learn about, to start to draw well, learn to move your hands first in the right way. Not that kind of basic structure. This is basically an advanced, okay? If you don't learn about the structures, the whole structures, you won't be able to draw or develop that kind of techniques there or skills there basically. Because this one need to develop not only your skills of drawings, but the skill to imagine the form and structures. How people see things there, right? Okay, Yashin? Do you understand right now? Anyone don't understand, please let me know there, okay? Any questions before we dismiss? Some question with photo in WhatsApp art groups too. So I asked you some question with the photo in WhatsApp. I did open up my WhatsApp there, right? Sorry there, right? All right, WhatsApp there, okay, please, okay, what we call that? Class rep, please, basically, okay, add me in your groups, okay, group 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there, okay? Please help me on that, okay? Okay, thank you for adding me over here. All right, so can I hand up with this or one page? Okay, this one can be used, okay? If you seems to see, okay, you want to draw something, okay, when you draw this one, okay, you draw manually or you follow other people's drawings there, that you saw your own hands, or basically you...
I saw on hands.
Your hand, right? Okay, good, right? You can actually submit like this, but it's very good for the beginners there, right? Okay, because I can see that you have that kind of skills that you can bring over to this exercise. Good there, right? Okay, this is you song there, right? Okay, thank you, you song there, right? Okay. But what I actually really recommend you guys, for those like Jiaxi and some of the rest of you guys who want to learn basic there, right? Okay, don't draw small there, right? Okay, one page, one A4 size, for example, one drawings there. People or student who can draw well, don't compare you and your friend who cannot draw well there, right? Okay, because each one of you guys have the individual kind of level of understanding there. So that means my kind of suggestions, draw one page, one subjects there, right? Okay, especially for those who want to learn from basics, don't draw small. If you draw small, you limit your potentials on your learning experience. I used to draw basically in A2 size papers for exercise day, guys, right? There's one time I didn't have money basically to buy those materials there. But when I actually explained to my lecturers at the time, they're right. He gave me 5 ringgit, buy those materials there, right? But what we actually have, okay, we actually have that kind of what we call that subsidized on the drawing papers there, right? Okay, on our times. Okay, that's the difference there, right? Okay, between my time there, right? Okay, because you know, some of the university basically they have that kind of budget from them, right? But I would recommend you guys don't draw like Yu Song just now. Okay, but Yu Song did a good job from here. Thank you very much, Yu Song there, right? Okay. But don't actually draw small unless you have the very good skills there, right? Okay. I can see that when people draw hands, okay, they kind of have that kind of really good understanding, okay, when they develop their skill from here. But what I actually have to remind you guys back again, don't draw small there, okay? try to use the whole spaces of your sketchbooks to draw your one subject there, okay? And then put into another page to draw another subjects there, right? Okay? So I already remind you guys there from there, don't draw small if you really want to study and learn the right way to draw there, right? Okay? Don't limit yourself to make smaller on your works there, okay? Because you won't be able to add those values from there because you limit yourself and you feel scared there, okay, to draw bigger there, okay? So that's basically my kind of suggestions. For those who really want to draw or learn from basics there, don't limit yourself there, please. All right. So all right, guys. So if you don't have any kind of questions, all right. I will leave you guys over here first, and then we are going to continue back again later on. All right, in our practical class there, okay? I think I have a group session with group 5 there, right? Okay, so you guys can take a rest a little bit first, and then we're going to work on that there, right? Okay, so thank you very much, guys, okay, for attending the lecture class over here. Hope you guys can get those kind of benefit from there. And I will basically going to see you guys back again on our practical class there, okay? So practical class, maybe you're going to do some demos, not only my demonstration, I want to see your kind of results on those exercises there, right, okay? By recording first or submit your drawings, then we can see from there. Yeah, we can use a new link. I'm going to give you guys a new links there from there. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys around. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Okay, right. Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys. Take care there, right?